yesterday news broke that Chris van Niekerk's thrown in the towel.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because he's been so successful for such a long time, and he's a hell of a nice person. I've got on well with him, and he's always amenable. You can always talk to him.
Gentleman, the highest order.
So I wish him all the best. I don't know why he got out, but good luck to him.
Welcome to another edition of Horses to Follow for KwaZulu-Natal, our weekly podcast. And I'm going straight to the man on my right, my bushy-haired friend. How are you?
I'm good, what?
I see there's a bottle of VIP sauce next to us. Any reason why?
Because we are VIPs.
There we go. You started well. You obviously got out of bed on the right side of the bed this morning. We've got two fabulous guests with us this morning. Shall we introduce them?
Might make a change.
Let's talk to Barbara Kennedy and Wayne Badenhorst. It's lovely to have them on the show. Let's start with ladies first. Wayne will never mind. Barbara, welcome to the show, and how are you?
Thanks, Warren. Nice to be here, finally.
Yes, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, all good.
They've been desperate to get on the show.
Well, it's been wonderful. It's good. We're making progress because people want to be on our show, which is so wonderful.
Yeah, usually they avoid us.
But I think they've realised over the years that it's a happy show, it's a fun show, and it's great publicity for racing, and it's wonderful. We welcome them. We welcome anybody on our show. Well, when I say anybody, most people.
Careful.
Yeah. Barbara, thank you. Yes, Wayne. All good. Nice to have you on the show too.
Oh, thanks, Thanks. It's been a privilege. I've been asking you for a while. Please get on the show. We want to get our stable on the map and try and get it boosted a little bit.
Well, that's what we're going to do today for sure. So Barbara and Wayne are our guests, and there are more cameras around us today than I think there's more cameras here than there is in the traffic department.
Well, looks pro.
Yeah, it looks pro, but they've brought out the proper cameras for Wayne and Barbara. I always call Barbara, I'm getting old now, I always call you Barbara, I used to always mix up your names. I used to call you Barbara Kennedy when you were Barbara Badenhorst and Barbara Badenhorst.
And then I went Kennedy and you still called me Badenhorst.
Badenhorst.
Yes, I couldn't get it right.
Now, the first question to ask the team, and of course Barbara and Wayne are a training partnership, that's why we've got them on together, and of course they're brother and sister, but more about that later when we touch on the family. I'll start with you, and I'm going to start with Barbara most of the time because ladies must come first. How did it all start for you? I mean, I know that you were born into a racing family, but the viewers don't know that. So let's go right back to when you were a young girl, very young girl. How did it all start for you, Barbara?
Yeah, so pretty much we were born into it. We lived in PE, stayed at Arlington Racecourse, so our backyard basically was the racetrack. So we used to wake up in the mornings, go to the track, see the horses, go to school, come back. So we didn't quite know much else than horse racing.
Yeah, your father was a trainer?
No, he was a jockey for 24 years, I think, and then when he stopped racing, he was the track manager in PE.
That's right.
Yeah.
When Gary Rich was the manager of the academy down in Port Elizabeth many years ago, when Barbara says, at Arlington, it literally is. I had the privilege of going to that beautiful home on the race course. You go outside the backyard, there was a massive bird aviary.
Yes.
And straight after the bird aviary, you walk out, you turn left, there's the race course, Arlington, beautiful race course. So they were literally brought up on the race course.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so it was no other choice but horses.
No other choice, basically, yeah.
And you, of course, did riding and you did all that.
Yeah, I went to riding school, did a little bit of show jumping, but yeah, it wasn't really my scene. Went to school after matric. Yvette actually offered me a job because I used to go during school holidays and work for her then. So when I finished matric, she offered me a job straight away.
Okay.
So yeah, got into that. And then, things just went on from there.
Your sister married to Gavin?
Yes.
Okay, but we'll get to the family segment just now. But let's stop and with you having obviously been brought up in the same house, what's the age gap? Well, we're not supposed to ask ladies their age, but
8 years.
8 years,
that's 8 years. Okay, so you were in the same household, the same backyard at Arlington, but is Barbara's story pretty much the same as yours? How it all started for you, Wayne?
Yes, exactly the same. Hey, before school, same thing. Go right a bit of work, then off to school, and that's how it worked. So it was about the same thing. Hey, it was with Yvette. Everything was with Yvette.
Okay.
She was assistant to Paul Lafferty, which had a satellite yard in PE, and that's long way back.
Tell me, Barbara. Tell me about your stint with Dean Caname here in KwaZulu-Natal, because you were with him for quite a long time and very successfully too.
Yeah, some of the best 4 years that I've been part of the game, who better to work for than Mr. Caname, he's taught me so much. It was a privilege to work for him. And yeah, I think I was just right place, right time when the job came along to run his satellite yard here at Summerfeld. And what a successful stint we had. I mean, we produced some lovely winners. And I was just very grateful to be part of it all.
Barbara, a lot of people said, and you would, it's not something that I'm telling you that you don't know, you would have heard it yourself, but when you decided to move on and go and train with your brother, a lot of people were saying, in this tough game and the tough times, is this young lady mad, But it's a dream. It was something that you've taken the step, and it's so far proving fairly successful.
Yeah, look, at the time, there was doubts whether it was the right move or not, but I'd also just had my first daughter, and it was proving a little bit difficult being, sort of on time for work every morning and having to report back a lot to Dean and all that, and I did find that a little bit difficult.
Sure.
Whereas on my own, I have a little bit more free time to be with my family, and with being with Wayne is also a big help. We just.
So if you're late for work, you just tell Wayne to get stuck.
To just carry on. Yeah, exactly.
And vice versa, I'm sure. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So I found that part a little bit difficult.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, Yvette Bremner was part of both of you, but tell us a little bit more. Yvette, you went international. Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, started with Yvette, and I think it was 19. And there was an opportunity to go to Hong Kong, so I went. I think it was maybe I was a little bit too young at that stage, because I was there for 6 months and I just couldn't cope with the culture and everything. It was a big step, and I think I was too young for that. Came back. And then also went back to Yvette, and then an opportunity came, went to Australia. I want to work for David Payne. That was a very good experience. I didn't know David, but when that side, he just started, and I got there and we grew the yard there. I learned a lot from David. When coming back, it was like, oh, David Payne is like, I didn't know David, so he was
legend.
He's a legend. So to work with him was a great opportunity.
Is he still a tough taskmaster?
Yeah, very. It's everything's down to you late. It's not you 1 minute late, you're late.
Yeah.
And that's what I've instilled with my guys. If you 1 minute, you're late.
Well, you are a very punctual person, Wayne. I must say, he's always.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, also you look at the trainers that have come out of David's yard.
Well,
there's Duncan and
Peter Muscat, Duncan.
They both work for him, and they both tell you stories.
But so it's nice to know. I was just going to say, Andrew, you're right. Some good horsemen like Wayne, Duncan, and Peter Muscat have all gone through the care of David Payne. Okay, then you also did a stint with Alec Laird.
Yes, I came back after 2 years there. Went back to Yvette, and then I went up to Joburg, worked for Alec for a bit, and then he wanted to send horses for the season in Durban, so I went with the horses, and I said to Alec, why don't you have a satellite yard? And I'll run it for you.
So he must have been very popular here.
So I said to him, so he said, no, he's not going to do that. So I said, no, I'm not going back with you, I'm staying here. And then I worked for Mr. Rivland. He taught me quite a bit as well, and from there it went. I was in and out of training. I went a little stint and then I had to stop because financially owners are paying and that, so I was a bit stuck and stopped and go. And then Barbara was busy with Dean Caname, and I said, let's do it together, and that's how it started.
Well, that was the next question I was going to ask, is how did the training partnership start? And you've answered that, thankfully. Because it was the time in your life where you had the little one and you thought it's time to go on your own. You wanted to go, you were on your own.
And it's just grown from there.
Okay. Your families, now let's start with your immediate family. Who are you married to? How many kids have you got?
Okay, so as you all know,
That guy.
yeah, Warren. We've been married now just over 2 years. Actually started dating him while I was still in PE working for Yvette. That's where things started going.
Warren used to ride there often, but he started off riding.
No, you know why he used to go around there often.
Exactly.
He's walking always down there, man.
Yeah, it wasn't just to go ride the horses, eh?
Careful.
But so then I moved up to Durban in, I think it was 2014. Started to make a life here with Warren. Then 2019 is when I had my first little one, Jamie. She's now 2 and 4 months.
Remember the day you brought her to races for the first time and showed everybody this
The
beautiful
first person
child?
she met in the racing game was Warren Linfernham.
Yeah,
And she
screaming a house
screamed the place down.
Surprised a bloody ugly mug like that.
Screaming a horse home at Scottsville. The poor child was fast asleep peacefully, and there was a tight finish. And of course, I opened my big fat mouth, and this poor child, I was so heartbroken.
I must say,
let
she
you
did
know.
have nightmares that night. I had to get her to go back to sleep.
Well, she's got to be used to it by now because she's used to it.
She's the one that shouts at home now.
So you had your first Lati, first little one.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, she wasn't planned, but greatest thing that ever happened. And then this year I actually had my second one. She was born end of April. So yeah, we've got the two kids. Not forgetting our other 2 kids that we've got, our 2 little Jack Russells. Can't forget them. But yeah, that's our little family.
Wayne, you recently married.
Yes, just before COVID, funny enough, we got married on the 7th of March 2020, and COVID came along, I think it was the end of March. So married to Lindsay Everson, who's now Lindsay Badenhorst. It's lovely. My wife's lovely, and she just supports me everything. So I've got nothing to do with racing. The best she does is watch my horses run. That's about it.
Okay.
She can't come to stables. She's allergic to horses.
Oh, sure.
So she struggles there, but that's the way it goes. So, but a big supporter of mine.
What does she do, Wayne?
She's a dietitian at Gray's Hospital. So,
okay.
Gray's Hospital, that's a long trek every morning.
Well, they live in Maritzburg.
I live in Maritzburg.
Is a Maritzburg boy like you? Dietitian, please give him my number. I need some help. As you can see by the size of the breakfast
need
I
some
ate.
help.
Yeah, the size of the breakfast we ate this morning. Absolutely. Okay, and no little ones yet, or
Hopefully soon.
okay. Not what do they say? That's not for a lack of trying. Now let's talk about your bigger family, because we'll have to segment it because give you both a chance to tell us about your lovely family, your mom and dad. Seeing that we're talking about the ladies, talk about your mom and your aunts.
Yeah, so look, my whole family, they're a big part of the yard. Just talking about mom, she's our feed lady, put it that way. She's taken control of feeding of the horses. Okay. Nothing gets past her. She just about measures the food down to the last little gram,
Okay.
But yeah, she's a big help in the yard. Watches the kids while we go to track. To put it this way, we wouldn't be able to do this without her. Yeah, big help.
Lady, I remember those Port Elizabeth days when she worked for the RA. I think it was the RA.
Yeah.
Just a wonderful woman and a wonderful face, and down in Port Elizabeth. You raced in Port Elizabeth?
No.
You've been in the game 30-something years and you've never been to Port Elizabeth. You don't know what you're missing.
I've been fishing there.
Fishing, okay. All right, so that's the ladies. Very brief. Now you talk to us about your dad and your,
Yeah, my dad, he's also a big help. Like I said, like Barbara says, it's a whole family thing. They just help so much, and it's just like I said, we wouldn't be able to do what we do as much as we can. They're always helping. There's always something to do, and my dad,
With your dad's experience and your mom's experience, but mainly your dad, you must be lucky to be able to bounce
lots
questions off and advice on anything.
Exactly.
Tracks, especially, or training, and just whatever.
Yeah, my dad will say, "Hey, the track looks fun." Those little things help. It's just, hey, maybe just looks a bit on that side, or maybe keep them there. It's just all those little things help.
Yeah, well, most people actually don't even know. I mean, you just think barrel up the sand is not a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but it just helps, eh?
There's a lot of things that we must actually maybe even start doing, little behind the scenes shows about what it takes, the tracks, the feeding, down to the last gram, etc., etc. It's not.
Lots of whingers will come on the show.
Let's talk about the difficulties, Barbara. I'll start with you again. The difficulties are there any difficulties that you face? How do you find it hard to manage your family and a business? But you've pretty much answered that with the support of the family and your brother and vice versa with him.
So why'd you ask the question?
Because I want to know what difficulties you face. There could be other difficulties than,
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, working in this game, there's always difficulties. You're working with horses. There's always, you think you figured them out, and then the very next day they come and upset your whole ideas, But yeah, like you said, we've already touched on with having kids and being training, it was a little bit tough in the beginning, but once you sort of get into routine of things, it makes things a lot easier. But yeah, always difficulties, but we push through them and keep going.
I reckon training horses in this country is probably the hardest job. I don't care. I'd rather be president than be a trainer.
Yeah, that's a bold statement.
Well, at least a president you can bullshit your way through.
Now, with the two of you, obviously the difficulties, if you're battling with an idea or something, you bounce it off Wayne and vice versa. So, you support one another if there are challenges that you face.
Yeah, I think because we've both had different backgrounds. We had different trainers that we worked for, and they had different things. So I think a lot of things that I learned with David and she learned with Dean Canema, we bounce off and say, try this or try that. Those things. It's like the experience from everyone, like my dad from that side, my mom from she used to be on a farm, so she got little different things, and it's all the things from everyone,
Put it all together.
Yeah.
Your future plans, what do your yard is going nicely at the moment. Well, it has been in general. Every yard gets quiet days, good days, bad days, but at the moment and in general, things ticking over nicely, the winners are flowing. But what are your plans for the future? What do you want to do? Obviously you want to grow, you want more owners, you want more horses, but what are the plans?
No, we want to try and get into those big races, I think it's everyone's ambition, but...
You've had one or two bites already. I think it's a couple of little features. And
we've had... it was very unlucky. We finished second in the Golden Horseshoe Grade 2 on July Day.
That's right.
AJ's
captain. That's right.
Yeah, very
remember
promising.
AJ's captain Grumpy?
Yeah. Very promising little horse that... but yeah, so we were almost successful there. I think we went down a short head.
That's right.
Yeah, so... But yeah, we're aiming to be more competitive in those kind of races.
So have you had nice or string? Is it
we've got some decent horses. Nice babies coming in. We've got a nice string of 3-year-olds at the moment. Yeah. So yeah, we hope to be up there, fighting it up with the big boys.
That's I think I'm glad Barbara and Wayne, that's the goal, because that's ultimately what you want to do.
Ultimately, everybody's
correct. Yeah. I think if you're not striving for that, you're not striving for those. You're not in it for. You're not striving for the right reason.
No. But this game is funny. I was reading the book True Grit by Les Carline, and he said it was a horse in Australia. Started off in New Zealand. The bloke bought a mare on the sale, and it had a foal. He only had one horse. He decided, well, I'll train it. He didn't know anything about training, so he bought a book. Checked it out. He said the horse used to live with the cows. And it turned out to be a champion. He went to Australia and won all the top races. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Wayne, any hobbies outside of racing?
If I got time, it's always about time, hey. Cycling. My wife and her parents, they cycle fanatics.
I hope they don't come near me. I don't leave a space, I promise you. I don't leave a space for cyclists. If they pay license fees for the road, it's fine, but they don't.
No, we're off-road, mountain bikes,
okay.
So we if we got time and on a Sunday or something, I'll go cycling with them, and we go for 30 k's or something. So that's hobbies and that. So.
Your favourite meal? If I said to you, we're going for supper, where do you want to go? What do you want to eat?
I'll have a steak,
Steak.
A good steak. It's good.
And
Bobs, what do you eat?
I'm getting there. Can you just hold on, please? Hold on there. I know she does eat lettuce, but I'm getting there. Just hang on a second.
Yeah, no, lettuce is
you need a set of pacifiers, you blinkers. And one thing that irritates you the most, one thing that the public might not know that really grinds you. We all have something that needles us.
Sure. Trying to think.
Oh, it's chilled.
Yeah, on a race day, less is more. The less I do on a race day, the better for me. So I think if you keep phoning me on a race day, that will maybe irritate me.
You. Okay, up here. It's the same as me. We said on the podcast. Remember we said on the podcast last week. We said what irritates you. I said for me, and somebody else mentioned it. The hour and a half before the first race, don't phone me because you're either showering or getting dressed, running to the car, putting in petrol, getting yourself to the race course, and you've got phone. The first hour and a half before races is probably the worst to get to contact a racing person. But you're right, and because you want your mind to be free.
Yeah, you just don't want to. You're thinking about racing, and you think you're planning ahead, and you get someone that's doing this and that, and it's just.
So you're also a bit like me in the sense that. If somebody says, well, will you come and look at horses or will you come and have breakfast with me before the races? You'd rather not. You keep your racing day for racing day.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100% right. 100% right. Bob's, your hobbies, besides looking after kids, running a household, running a stable, looking after your husband?
Well, you see, no time for hobbies. But no, I haven't really got much hobbies other than just horses,
Okay.
Most of my time is taken up by being at work, then running after the kids all day.
What your favourite meal? Something that you enjoy?
Oh, sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Okay. Sushi.
Love
And
sushi.
your pet hate? Something that irritates you that we don't know about?
Pet hates, yeah.
Owners
People
that
who
don't
say,
pay.
like,
I think that's everybody's
that's
pet hate.
everyone's, that's everyone's pet hate. But no, pet hate would have to be when people are late for something.
Okay.
Like to one day, but yeah,
Oh, you didn't see that coming, huh? You didn't see that coming. You got
say
a little.
9:30, you be a 9:30.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, look at that, eh?
Take
Okay.
that knife in, boy.
Yeah, put the knife in. When they're gone, I'll pull the knife out.
I'm not doing my people any better.
That twist the knife as well.
Let's talk about Warren now. Your brother-in-law, your husband, our good friend, I should imagine, because he's always very nice
You
to
would
Andrew
think,
and I hope so. I don't know who he is.
He hasn't flunked us.
He hasn't flipped us yet. He's one of the most likeable, down-to-earth. The Warren Kennedy we knew 10 years ago is the Warren Kennedy we knew today. Friendly, talks to everybody, happy to help the media, and just all-round pleasant. And I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's bottom. It is what it is. If he was arrogant and nasty, we wouldn't be talking about him. So he's not arrogant and nasty. How's his career, his riding career has just blossomed and burst, and he's just flying. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, no, it is.
What's he like to live with?
Well, he travels so much at the moment.
That's also true.
But
Also
yeah,
true.
no. As you see him at races and wherever, he's like that at home.
Okay.
I must say, look, he does all the cooking at home. So when he's away, we get a bit hungry. But
we know how Warren feels because you cook a lot at home. I cook a lot at home. Warren cooks a lot at home.
My missus is retired now. I've retired from the kitchen.
Oh, you're lucky. Okay.
yeah,
So he does all the cooking. Okay.
Yes, yeah, Warren's the chef in the house.
He's lucky he got no weight problems.
No, not at all.
Isn't that wonderful?
He walks around 50 kgs,
Sure.
and he eats. He eats like a bloody machine. But
Isn't that wonderful?
just a natural lightweight. But yeah, no, he's good to live with.
He must be the envy of the living Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a handful of jocks that can do that. I mean, I remember Lucian Africa, who's retired, who's now working in IT, and also used to get a double cheeseburger on the way to the races and two chocolate milkshakes and all this. And Warren could pretty much do the same.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
Does he get grumpy?
He does get grumpy on his day.
I suppose we're all the same, if he's had a bad day at the races or things didn't go to plan.
Yeah, we all get our little grumpy moments. But yeah, most of the time he's always happy.
The support that he's received from Paul Peter in particular is you don't often see a relationship between a jockey and trainer like that. And he's received wonderful support from him and many other trainers, but I'm just focusing on his Joburg work.
Yeah, Paul Peter's been really good to Warren. He's become a bit like family to Warren type thing. And the same goes for Gavin Vinzel in Durban.
Yes.
I mean, him and Warren, they've been together for years now, and it's just great to see.
It must be wonderful from a training perspective. I mean, yes, he's your brother-in-law and he's part of the family, but again, he's so busy. But if you want to try a horse out, or you want it to work, or get a proper feedback, not that the others that you use and work with don't give you proper feedback, but if you want to know something special, it must be nice for you to know that you can call on him, he can work your horse for you, ride it in a race, and there's no. He'll tell you as it is.
Yeah, he definitely tells you how it is. He tells me, hey, get rid of this, not even worth having. Or try one of this, or try a bit short. It does really help. He's going to be honest with me, because it's family. He's not going to say, hey, just keep try this. You'll say, boy, get rid of it. It's useless, and that's what you want to hear from anybody, any jock,
So the owner doesn't want to hear that.
Yeah, so owners don't want to hear that, but you rather have that than...
Absolutely, and you're right. Some owners get the needle when you say...
Well, the bloke told me once, he said, you can insult my wife, but don't insult my horse.
Andrew, that's terrible. But you're right, some people, you don't want to keep throwing good money after bad horses. If they're no good, it's nothing to take personal, but... move on and get a new horse.
Yeah.
How does the partnership work between the two of you now? Do you each have your own horses that you look after? Is it just one stable? Tell us more how the Badenhorst Kennedy operation works.
Yeah, so we're together, but two people can't train one horse. We will clash and argue about it all day.
Exactly.
So I've got my horses that I train, and Wayne's got his horses that he trains, and just makes things a lot easier. So we don't clash, and
there's a bit of competition between the two of you.
There's a bit of a competition to see whose string does better.
So it's the registered, the Badenhorst Kennedy training combination, but it's almost like a company has their own teams.
Exactly.
You've got your own team, you've got your own staff, horses that you look after, and that's excellent. Because you're right, two people can't train one horse, So you've got yours, he's got his,
and
we challenge each other with those ones. We challenge each other with those horses.
Why, if an owner walked into this clubhouse now and walked up to the table and said, well, tell me why I should have a horse with Barbara and Wayne, what would your answer be?
Because we're good.
We won't be.
Stupid question.
Actually, a good question.
Thank you very much. It could be because they've got 6 treadmills. It could be because they've got half a swimming pool. It could be because they
send us a horse because we used
more expensive. ECM. Bad answer, Barbara. It could be anything. It could be because we've got customer service. It could be because we take you to a breakfast 3 times a month. It could be for any reason.
That's what they do.
They know they're good because you can see the statistics. Why should you...
We had 5 winners last month.
Correct.
Well, this month's not the end yet.
So what I'm saying to you is why do you want your owners to come to you? Because your customer service is, you're friendly and you're good.
We'll let them tell you that.
So besides the fact that you're good, why should an owner come to you?
I think mainly because we put the horses first, we don't think of money at the end of the day. It's what's good for the horse, and
that's the answer I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got it.
Okay, so besides the fact that they're good, horse comes first.
Yeah. Bottom line.
Okay, we're nearing the end of our discussion, but it would be remiss if we didn't speak about your sponsors. Now, your yard is sponsored by a company called Deltron Energy. Tell us about this company and about this lovely man that we all know.
He's Deltron Energy. He's a very, very nice guy. His name's Praveen. I can't pronounce his surname too well, but I'm sure you'll...
Does he know that? Have you told him?
Yeah, I said to him I couldn't pronounce his surname too well.
Can you not give us an easier surname?
Barbara can pronounce it better than I can. So very nice guy. Funny enough, we met...
How did you meet him?
A while back, he phoned me up one day. He says, can I meet you, have a cup of coffee? And he spoke there, and it was a long story. He said, no, I'll support you and all that. And he went quiet, and then he had a couple of issues with, things. And he came back and he said, no, I'm coming now. Now we're going to support you. And he supports us in a big way. Sponsored the whole yard. which has been a privilege. Since he started with us, we've just had winner after winner after winner, and I'm just so glad that he can be part of it, because he always says, I'll stick with you, because he says you're a true horseman, you do what's best for the horses, and that's our thing, and he says the horse is bad, you tell me it's bad, and we get rid of it, that's what I think that's what he likes about me and us, because that's what we want, we don't want to be carrying on, keep it for a year, and the horse doesn't earn a thing. If it's not earning, it must go. Sure. And he's just been very good to us. And I'm sure it's going to carry on for a very long time, because we get along together. So I think it's nice to have him on board.
A passionate man. Yeah, we've met him. I've certainly met him, and it's lovely to have. And the more new people we can have, and the younger blood that we can have, the better. But I think, is there anything else that we need to add? It's been a damn interesting interview to talk to and what I find so heartwarming, and you're going to say, because you're grumpy and old, you're grumpy and old, you're going to say, oh, you're so soft and it's all unnecessary and all wishy-washy. But, what I do want to say is that here are two individuals, young individuals, that have been brought and born into racing, and they've only wanted to follow their heart and their dream. And that's the message I want to give everybody, is that when you love racing, it becomes a way of life, and you do whatever you have to do. Find people to look after the kids. Find a wife that's supportive. You do it because you love it. That's the point I'm trying to make, and it's actually just a wonderful story, isn't it?
Oh, you just have a rich wife and a nanny, then you're fine.
I don't know whether he should retire, actually. He's full of nonsense. But that's the point I'm making. It's just been wonderful to talk to the both of you, hear your story, and know that from a young age, all you've ever wanted to do is horses, and you're doing it. You're living the dream.
Exactly.
And we wish you all the best. And we know that you're a little superstitious sometimes. All of us are a little superstitious. I'm not really superstitious, but watch that black cat that's just walked past you at the back there. Be careful. But yeah, you're happy to talk to the media, and we wish you all the best, many winners, and thank you for your time. That's the most important.
Thanks for having us.
Good.
Hopefully we can have a big winner this season. Hopefully coming up. Maybe on July Day. Hopefully
where's AJ's captain?
We still got him at the moment.
He hasn't run for a while, is it?
Yeah, we gathered him after that last run, put him away for a little bit. At the moment there's not too many races, so we've got a few plans for him, but we'll see him.
Good.
Yeah.
Obviously we talk about big winners, but like me, any winner's a good one. I mean, you enjoy a maiden win, you enjoy, of course that's the goal, is the big races, but the stable's winning and doing well, and of course you're enjoying that as much as you do the maiden success or the group success.
Exactly. The maiden start, and then hopefully get them to the big ones. That's what we all dream to have.
Guys, all the very best to you and the whole Badenhorst Kennedy family. Thank you for your time, and we wish you all the very best.
Thanks very much.
Warren and Andrew.
Andrew?
Warren?
Wonderful interview with Barbara and with Barbara Badenhorst, with Barbara Kennedy, and I just had to say Barbara Kennedy and Wayne Badenhorst. Lovely, and as I said, just not to be wishy-washy, you could see from a young age they were born on the race course, and this is all they wanted to do.
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of trainers trying to avoid having their kids anywhere near horses, but no, that's good, and they're good at their job.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I've learned a lot more about them, that's for sure, today. Let's talk about the news segment. Now, there's a lot of news, and some have said it's disturbing news, but that's for everybody to make up their own mind. Yesterday, news broke that Chris van Niekerk's thrown in the towel.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, because he's been so successful for such a long time, and he's a hell of a nice person. I've got on well with him. And he's always amenable. You could always talk to him.
Gentleman, the highest order.
So I wish him all the best. I don't know why he got out, but good luck to him.
Just before we continue talking about Mr. van Niekerk, I've just looked at your flash new shorts. Where did you get those?
No, the missus bought them.
Oh, well, I was going to say, you could never have bought those. Those are modern. Those are zhuzh. Those are flash. I mean, in fact, Tawanda must try and get a picture of your new shorts. Goodness gracious. What are those, lighthouses or boats or something, yachts on there or something?
I don't know. Spooky says they're my pajamas. So
Jeepers, creepers.
They're flash,
those
man.
Flash shorts, eh? Yeah, let's get a picture of those to show everybody. Well, you must let your wife do the shopping more than
Yeah,
yourself.
but I think it was a ploy. I think she bought me 2 pairs of shorts so she could go and buy a new dress. So,
Back to Mr. Van Niekerk, Chris Van Niekerk. Yeah, gentlemen, always happy to talk to, and his son Eric too.
Eric too, nice person. Yeah.
Both gentlemen, happy to talk to anybody. Always pleasant and just gentlemanly, sportsmanlike. And we certainly will miss him. But as you say, we're not sure what the reasoning is. I read somewhere on the Sporting Post or somewhere on the Business Day that, it was becoming a bit difficult to sustain, or I don't know if that was the right reason where I read or heard that somewhere along the lines. But at the end of the day, it's not for us to query why, or it's his decision and we respect his decision.
Yeah, a big loss though.
Big loss. Huge loss. So Mr. Chris Van Niekerk, we wish you and Eric and your whole family all the very best, and please believe me, you will be missed. And
there's a big dent in Sean Terry's yard because I think
huge.
Chris owned most of his horses.
You've got to feel for Sean too, because now he comes under pressure.
Yeah, but Chris gave him all the horses, so
yeah. Well, he's got the horses now, but you've got to find the owners.
You've got to find the owner. You've got to pay the keep. Yeah,
absolutely. And the point I was going to make about Chris, yes, he'll be missed. I believe he is keeping a breeding interest though with Claverflay stud, yeah. Or as my French Mauritian friend says, Claverflay. Lyle Hewitson, I touched base with him last night. Likeable youngster. We were interviewing his dad this morning for the TV show. Carl, he looks to be in the next 10 days or so on the aeroplane and gone.
Yeah, I've got a nephew who's he had a contract to teach in Japan, but he's also the COVID's put the kibosh on that. But he says he should be heading off there soon too. So good luck to them both.
The sales are coming up. We'll just ask Tawanda if he wouldn't mind getting us a book that's on the shelf there by the breakfast, and I'll tell you exactly about that sale. Talking to somebody the other day with the sales that are going on, it's nice that. Thank you. It's nice that. There are people saying there are a lot of sales, but the sales are being successful. For some way, they're being successful, and we thank God for that.
Yeah, and I think there is money around, but racing's been sort of in the dog box with Pumalela going under and all the shenanigans going on. So, yeah, I think people are a bit wary sometimes, because bad publicity.
Yeah. Cape Thoroughbred sales ready to run. And Unbroken Sale 2021 takes place on Sunday, the 31st of October 2021 at Kenilworth Racecourse. So there is the catalogue. In KwaZulu-Natal, you can get them at the training centres. I'm going to give Andrew some to take back to Ashburton to give the trainers there. At the racecourses, you can get this catalogue. They're ready to run an Unbroken Sale for 2021. Luke Ferraris, I see he's had a second winner.
Yeah, no, he's got off to a decent start. Yeah.
And in the Congo, winning a Group 1 in Australia, that was brilliant.
Yeah, it's son of Via Africa.
Son of Via Africa, yes.
Yeah, she could gallop a bit.
She could gallop. Amazing. From the quiet hills of Ashburton was Via Africa.
Yeah. And
she's now produced this star that's running around the track.
Yeah, I watched that last run. He ran them off their feet. It might be up for a $15 million sprint soon, so that'll be interesting.
Right, let's talk racing. Are you ready?
I are.
My microphone's falling down here. Let's talk racing. Where are we? Scottsville's going under the spring treatment.
Yeah, we're out of Scottsville for 2 months now. It's Greyville.
So are the chances of us seeing the races are probably slim.
Very.
That's naughty. Could you make a plan to come and see us at Greyville, please?
Yeah, send petrol money.
Sunday the 3rd of October. He's always got an answer, hasn't he? Sunday the 3rd of October. No wonder you argue with your wife, because you always have a damn answer.
Well, I say nothing there.
Sunday the 3rd of October, 2021, Hollywood Bets, Greyville. We're on the poly track. Now let's go. There are 8 races carded. The very first race is a maiden plate over 1,200 meters, Andrew. It sets off the bipod, first leg of the bipod. Triton, number 10 Triton for Carl Hewitson. Talking to him this morning, he said that he thinks this horse will run well. Might need one more run, but he feels he's going to give a good account of himself. I'm looking to see number 4 Venerable improve to go close. How do you see it? What are your tips?
I'm in the boat with Venerable as well. Yeah, and it's quite interesting to see this two jocks are back in the saddle. Lance Pagel, he's been away for a while. He's been working for Platner.
And Larato
Mahapi.
Yeah,
As long as he doesn't smile, those teeth will blind everybody. Yeah.
I see these two riders. Yeah, we wish them all the very best. They know what riding winners is all about, what it takes to ride winners. Lance Pagel and Lerato Mahapi, we wish you very well. Mandla Tuli's a jockey who's also recently started riding, and he's bringing home a few winners.
Yeah, Mando, he's been stuck here. He's been working in China, and COVID. He came here for a holiday, and then COVID struck, so he's had an extended holiday. Yeah, he had a good winner yesterday.
He can ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the camp of Venerable. My only worry about Venerable, just read me the statistics here. Go back to the first race for me. Gavin Van Zyl, one of the great trainers we have in the country. The yard, because I think a lot of the yards go through quiet patches. Dean Canamay is coming out of it. African horse sickness time. Just let me have a look at Venerable Gavin Van Zyl. Last 30 runners, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. That's good enough for me. So Venerable certainly is a horse that we've got to watch with great interest. Let's move on to the second race. The second race is a tough race. It's a 90 handicap.
Now this is an interesting race. I want to see how Donald McDonald runs.
Yes.
He's one of 2 entries from KZN for the Summer Cup.
Right. Who's the other?
What's that thing of Duncan's?
Oh, Origami.
Origami.
Right.
So Donald McDonald's got a merit rating of 92, so he's going to
loves the potty.
Yeah, but he's going to have to win.
Well,
maybe even 2 races to get his merit rating up to even be considered for the field for the Summer Cup.
But it's a tough race, this, Andrew.
Well, I think you either go 3 or you go big.
I'm going to probably go. I do like Donald McDonald, and I do think he's the one they all have to beat. But in my other pick 6 perm, I'm going to load up because Flying Bull's got a chance. Blue Planet, Magical Midlands, Coup d'etat. But yes, Donald McDonald sets the standard. Third race, so you could get a Van Zyl double there with Venerable and Donald McDonald. The third race, a maiden plate over 1,600 meters, named after our podcast. Thank you to the operator for giving us a race named after our podcast. What do you like here? I'm expecting huge improvement from number 9 Broadway.
Yeah. He said, he arrived, I think he's having his first run for Duncan, isn't it? First run for Howells. I think he was a bit of a handful when he arrived in the yard, and he's been gelded since, so interesting to see how he runs.
Is Red Soul the one to beat?
I don't think so. I mean, Dennis took him down to Cape Town and showed nothing. Gelded him. He's had 2 good runs since then, so I think he's the one you got to beat.
Talking to Stuart Ferry this morning for the TV show, quite upbeat about Red Soul going one better. The fourth race, a 72 handicap over 1,600 meters at 2:30. Talking to Byron Foster as well for the Understarters Orders show, or as we call it off air, the Understarters Orders show. It's the GTV preview show. Number 2, Airways Lawyer tells me a very nice colt. He seems to show nothing at home, but when he comes to the races, he's a different animal, and that's what you want. He's an upbeat for a good run, but I think they're all going to have to run some to beat number 10, Don't Touch Me. I think he can make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think Don't Touch Me's got a decent chance. I've gone Airways Law. I thought that was a very good maiden win. Quizmaster ran second again yesterday. And the horse I'm worried about is Edgartown.
You know who else? Sorry, we'll get to Edgartown in a moment. You know who else has won out of that form line, that Quizmaster form line? Is that also Peter Muscat's Arumagan?
Okay.
That's one out of that form line. So the form line is strong. Quite right. Which one are you worried about? Edgartown.
Edgartown.
I'm being disappointed with him.
I think he's slowly coming back to his best now. I think
could be a lurker.
Yeah, he goes a mile for the first time. I think he's bred for this trip now.
Race 5, an 83 handicap over 1,000 meters. What did you do?
I had to lick my finger to
turn
the
page. A sprint, Paul Peters in town with Cold Fact, solid form, and got to have a solid chance. King's Road loves the poly. Gallic Chief has ability. Cold Hard Cash loves this course and distance. How do you see it? What did you tip?
Yeah, I think it's a hard race. Cold Fact, I think it's a 3-year-old filly with 60 taking on some fairly speedy ones. I've gone for Gallic Chief. I think I was earwigging a phone call on Tuesday.
Yes.
And Gareth Van Zyl wanted a strong 4-claimer up.
Right.
And they've bust down Golo Jacobs.
Okay.
But apart from that, I think he's quite a decent sort of a horse. I think he's coming right now at the right time.
Did you hear Gareth talking?
I didn't hear Gareth talking. I heard the booking.
Oh, from the riding masters.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
I was just earwigging a telephone call.
Okay, you're earwigging, and that's a hell of a word, that earwigging.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the 6th race. A 78 handicap for fillies and mares. Over 1,000 meters. Diamonds and Dust returns to the Poly, where she's had 3 starts for 2 wins. Can she win? It's not as easy as that because there's Mindset, Auntie Lizzie, Big Eyed Girl, Sophia Erin, Lady Catherine. There's a few in here with chances.
I don't know. I
You're
think this is a field.
Finish.
I'm in for a field here.
Okay, but who did you tip first in the official race card?
I think I tipped Bing Beach. Bing Beach.
Okay, Bing and Beach.
Drawn one, Bing and Beach. Drawn one. I think it was a good win last time. And Sophia Erin, if she behaves herself.
She's got to be a runner. The 7th race is a merit rated 105 handicap over 1,400 meters, where the average rating is a 97. Can Sniper Shot finally get it right? I'm going to give him a chance.
Yeah, he's had plenty of chances, but this time he's got 51 and a half on his back. Yeah, I think if he can't win this, then I think he's done.
Guru's Pride is a horse that's got tons of ability. He's a little off form, but back on the Poly, where he's won 5 out of his 6 starts on the Poly. He's got to be respected, surely.
Yeah, and I think the horse you probably have to beat is Socrates.
Oh, don't talk about that. Socrates, your friend will be on your back.
No, I'm fine because I didn't tip it to win. So,
Okay.
yeah.
The 8th race is a 72 handicap for fillies and mares over 1,200 meters. Oh, again, a difficult race.
Surely Maiden's Prayer. He's got to win a race sometime.
Maiden's Prayer's got to win a race sometime, surely to goodness, because
It wasn't a bad run last time.
just found one better on the day.
Yeah.
Stuart Ferry, I spoke to him this morning again for the TV show. Watch all those interviews on the GTV preview show. Maiden's Prayer just found one better on the day, so she's got to have an undeniable chance of winning.
Yeah, so that's where I've gone, and I think Birdwatcher can win again.
Oh, we like bird watching, you and I.
Yeah, boy.
What about number 9, Boldly Go? It's my last question for you before we go. Boldly Go.
Yeah,
Chance.
it's definitely the pick of the Canama pairing. It's had 1 run, wasn't a bad run behind Another Love, so probably primed, just drawn a bit wide. None.
Well, that's racing for you on Sunday at Hollywood Bets Gravel on the Poly track. There's rain around the province and rain around the country, actually. And just be safe on the roads, and of course be safe. Keep yourself COVID-free and sanitized. Andrew, thanks very much. A lovely interview we had with Barbara and Wayne.
No, good one.
And all the best, yeah. We'll see you next Thursday. But that's a wrap from us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please, we had some lovely comments last week. There were a couple of comments on our Facebook page. And we enjoyed that. We enjoy communicating and conversing with you. This week, I tell you what, drop us a line. Tell us who you would like to see on the podcast. Send through some selections for the weekend, horses that you want. There's big racing in the Cape. We must mention that. Cape and Joburg. When I say big racing, there's feature races in Cape and feature races in Gauteng.
Yeah, well, Turffontein, it's the 2 spring challenge races. Some nice horses running there. It's a warm up. It's the start of their spring season.
Yeah, so there's plenty of racing action this weekend. Speak to us, communicate with us, but you know the story, you know the drill. We will not tolerate slander, we will not tolerate hate speech, we will not tolerate any of it, because we're trying to make the world a better place and the industry a better game. Well, it is a better game, it's a brilliant game. We want to make it even better. So let's be nice, let's communicate, tell us who you want to see, share with us your tips, what you like, which horses you've been following, and but most importantly is punt well, be safe, and be kind. From Andrew Harrison, Warren Linferner, Barbara Badenhorst,
It's Barbara Kennedy,
and Wayne Badenhorst. We will see you in the number 1 box.